So the 20th anniversary and 2 days of Power Rangers in space. Let me go with a little bit of an intro. Before Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was owned by Mirage. My notes are like over here. Power Rangers was originally Super Sentai made by Toei. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles became more cartoony thanks to good revenues from that fan base and kids. Nickelodeon and Michael Bay would eventually take over. Disney would eventually take over Power Rangers before Spawn bought it back. The Mirage comics originally parodied Ronin, Daredevil, etc. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers originally ironically parodied Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saved by the Bell. Good timing, right? Well, there's a bit of an issue because of the Power Rangers in Space Tone, but even when I watched it when I was a kid, I didn't really notice the difference. They give them a lot of stuff with like 80s Turtles acting like MMPR, showing up at the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers school, breaking the fourth wall, etc. Really been cool. They could have went for the time barrier. They did a lot of time travel stuff before in Power Rangers, like Wild West Rangers, Colonial Rangers, etc. in Mighty Morphin. So they're going to that. Again, with 80s Turtles acting like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in Space, and then who knows what the future would have been maybe next season. Could have been a nice Super Sentai handoff there. Etc. The number one complaint I always had about it was the Turtles not being able to breathe in space without helmets, which I'll get into later. Horses on the Moon, Saban. Water Force, Forever Red. I never really liked the team. It seemed very gimmicky like Gokaiger and seemed to have more style than substance. When I think of Power Rangers, I like talking about, at least what came to mind this time when I was writing the notes was that Bruce Wayne and Batman Beyond claims to call himself Batman in this episode, even in his subconscious. Not sure if it's actually true, but the psychological concept is interesting. When I think of Power Rangers, I think of Judd Lynn era. No Mystique, not the Mighty Morphin, not the Neo Saban. The Lost Galaxy, the Wild Force era, even if it's only the Time Force. That's what I think of when I think of the Judd Lynn era, and that's what I think of when I think of Power Rangers. And there's a bit of a setup to this episode, which makes it even more confusing. It has to do with the episode prior, episode 3 of Power Rangers in Space. And just put some hot sauce and some consumables, with Vulcan skulls. And it did wide, wasn't made funny or dramatic. Although it does introduce Professor Calamdus. For what reason? Characters, I guess. More characters than plot. We get to know a little bit more about Eclipture, a little bit more Angelus powers, and that's pretty much the whole premise of the episode. Pretty good start, but then at the end it has the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from Next Mutation. It sort of ruins that flow. They couldn't introduce them in the next episode and make it stand alone. I doubt many people actually remember that this actually happened, although it has gone popular on YouTube. At least it was for a while. I don't know if you see it on YouTube anymore. They don't bring back the Turtles anymore after this episode. There's no new Next Mutation characters this either. But they do use the license at least to give people a moment, even though I don't know if it was even that celebrated or that popular at the time. I think it was actually in the ratings. Keep in mind that the Next Mutation was one of the worst things ever. One of Saban's worst things ever. I hope that Astronema herself doesn't use the fact that she goes to the Megazord and get like data from it for battles this early in the season. And the Foot Soldiers and like the second episode go to the Turtles' lair. And how do you go on the rest of the season that way? Well, that's what they did. And this premise is sort of weird. They don't really set it up so that the Turtles would actually be able to beat the Rangers unless it was like some sort of toy fighting thing. They never had a toy tie-in to combine both seasons, which was another opportunity wasted. Give the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles some Power Ranger suits or something. Astronema henchman suits. They don't really have anything that would largely have them beat the Rangers, not to mention breathe in space. Andros, for some reason, had this plot where he doesn't trust the Rangers. I don't know why. It doesn't work when you do it. It doesn't work logically when he doesn't do it either. When he has the opposite. I mean, Andros is suspicious that the turtles saved the day because of coincidental stuff. First off, that happens all the time. It's Power Rangers, it's team ups, it's comic book stuff. Doesn't make any sense. Here's my head finger while trying to explain it. And it's confusing how they're canon and not canon. Like, you shove it in the last episode with the last episode, so you figure it'd be canon with like Sharma and Andros and other relationships, but they don't show up again. Not in Countdown to Destruction either, which is weird. Which has like they have Adam show up this season. They have. I wonder if they would have done more turtles if this season of Power Rangers didn't do well. They have Blake Foster show up. They have Fan Ranger, Gold Ranger show up. The turtles don't grow big. Nice touch of the word, Deca being mind controlled or reprogrammed by Donnie to give them something to do. They have pizzas to eat, which is nice. It is very suspicious that they're going after the navigational systems. And that's it. What are your thoughts on the 20th anniversary of Power Rangers in Space meets Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation? Like, comment, subscribe.